Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your destination for all things Apple. Today we'll be doing a more in-depth review of the M3 MacBook Air. I'll be comparing it head-to-head with my M1 Max MacBook Pro. This might seem like an apples to oranges comparison, but I'm curious to see if the entry-level M3 is powerful enough to replace my MacBook Pro. Let's get started. Like I just stated, this is an apples to oranges comparison. To start off, I paid over $5,000 for my M1 MacBook Pro, and only about $1,400 for this M3 MacBook Air. So there's a huge price difference. However, there is a 3-year difference between these two computers. And with all the talk about how much more powerful the base M3 is over the base M1, I decided to challenge the base M3 with the most powerful M1 chip that was released in 2021, the M1 Max. If you missed the unboxing of the M3 MacBook Air, here's the link so you can watch it. One of the main things I do on my computer is editing videos. So the very first thing I'll do is see how long it takes each computer to export the exact same project. Let's get started with the speed test. On the left, I have the M1 Max, and on the right, I have the M3 MacBook Air. Who will win? Alright, so we have the results. My M1 Max exported the 8-minute 4K project in about 4.5 minutes, while the M3 took about 10 minutes to export the exact same project. I expected this, but still wanted to see if there was going to be any surprises. They say time is money, and waiting over twice the time to export a project is not good. It's not a good start for the M3 MacBook Air. Let's move on. The screen size. This MacBook Air has a screen size of 15.3 inches, and the MacBook Pro has a screen size of 16.2 inches. While it doesn't seem like a huge difference, the extra almost 1 inch of screen makes a world of difference. I do most of my editing on the studio display, so I'm sure I could make it work, but if I'm on the go, I would hands down always take the bigger screen. Now, as beautiful as the display is on the MacBook Air, it's not the same display as the MacBook Pro. They are both liquid retina displays, however the MacBook Pro has a liquid retina XDR. This means it's a higher resolution display and also a brighter display, which is very evident. Now, most people wouldn't be able to tell, especially if you don't put the two machines side by side, but one of the things I struggled with while editing on the MacBook Air was the screen only got to 500 nits of brightness. The screen on my MacBook Pro has a sustained brightness of 1000 nits and a peak brightness of 1600 nits when using HDR content. And if you use a tool like Vivid, you can have that level of brightness all the time. Screen size and brightness are another 2 knocks on the M3 MacBook Air. Moving on. The MacBook Air has 2 USB-C ports and a MagSafe connector. This is definitely an upgrade compared to, for example, an M1 MacBook Air or the Intel-based MacBook Air. Both of those had 2 USB-C ports. However, if you wanted to use the computer and charge it at the same time, you would have to utilize one of those USB-C ports to charge the computer, leaving you with access to only one USB-C port. With the addition of the MagSafe connector, now you can charge your computer and still have the ability to connect 2 different items without needing a hub for more ports. The MacBook Pro has a bit more to offer in this department. We have a total of 3 USB-C ports and a MagSafe connector, an HDMI out, and a SD card reader. While I can live without the extra USB-C port and the HDMI out, I draw the line with the SD card reader. Yes, there are workarounds like hubs and adapters, but not having to worry about whether I have the adapter with me is crucial. Also, it's an extra step. Like I mentioned earlier, time is money, and anything that saves me time is worth it. I record all my footage onto SD cards, so this is extremely important for me. Using the MacBook Air took me back to my 2019 Touch Bar MacBook Pro. Talk about PTSD. All jokes aside, having an SD card reader is a must for me. And I understand that for most of you, that won't be an issue. But for me, that's another knock on the M3 MacBook Air. All that being said, I am completely impressed by how the M3 MacBook Air performs. The fact that I can edit a Final Cut project without it lagging and exporting the project in a reasonable time is very impressive, especially when you stop to think that this wouldn't have been possible on a MacBook Air with an Intel chip inside, just a few years back. For the majority of people, this computer would be more than powerful enough. And the few cons that this computer has for me won't affect a good 90% of people. The battery life is completely insane. You can definitely get through a full day without having to charge it at all. I would feel more than comfortable going out for the day without bringing my charger with this laptop. It's a great computer, and if you've been looking to upgrade your MacBook Air, this is a no-brainer. Also, if you happen to purchase the MacBook Pro in the past for the screen size, but don't need all the extra features, this 15.3-inch screen is perfect. Now, Apple kept around the M2 MacBook Air in the 13-inch format, which is identical to this model. If you want to save yourself some money, this is also a great option, being that the M2, once again, is more than powerful for the majority of people out there. This specific model I have is the midnight color, which is infamous for showing fingerprints. While Apple did apply a new coating on this M3 model, the fingerprints still show up. And I purposely didn't clean the computer so you could see for yourself how much the fingerprints still show up on this color. Now, I completely love this midnight color, and I would be willing to live with the fact that I would have to clean it every single day in order for it to look nice. That's just one of those trade-offs you decide on when you like a specific color or a specific thing. That's it for today's video. For more Apple updates, please consider watching this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.